So design patterns are code templates that help us write code in an efficient, organized, maintainable, and self-documenting manner. In this video, I will be showing you how you can use master-slave design pattern for creating an architecture for your projects. So let's create a new VI and let's save it. Let's call it master slave design pattern. So, and next let's create a front panel for it. Let's place a string indicator. Let's call it slave1. Let's create a copy of it. Select, press Ctrl and drag. Slave2. Let's place a Boolean button. Let's call it speak. Copy, Boolean text, paste. Let's create a copy for it, or let's create a new stop button. It's already pre-made. Let's select both of these and then maximum width and maximum height. Let's align their tops, and we are done with the front panel. Next we will be going to create the block diagram. So let's go to the block diagram and write our code. Control E to go to the block diagram directly. So let's create one of our loop will be the master loop and the other two will be the slave loop. So we will have a total of 3 loops, and to communicate between the loops we will be using a notifier. So let's create a notifier. Obtain notifier. Let's create a data type for it. Let's create a string constant and attach it to its data type. So now that we have our notifier, let's create our first loop, while loop. And we will be using an event structure. So that when a button is pressed, we will send a notification. The user will decide when to send a notification. And the button that we will be using would be speak. So let's write an event for it. Right click, add event case, and speak. Place it inside. When this button is pressed, and let's keep these reference, we will be using this reference, convert it to a shift register. And when this button is pressed, we will send a notification. Send a notification let's say to send this notification format into string. Let's change this text to iteration to string. It's written the wire. Let's add a format string, create constant. Let's say speak. %d. And we will send this text to using this notifier. Let's add another shift register for the error wire. Let's convert this to shift register as well. Let's pass this through. And when we are done, we will be closing, destroying release notifier. Let's create a false constant, and we will not be closing the loop in this event. Let's create another while loop. First slave, let's pass this notifier reference in. Let's create wait on notification. So we'll wait for receiving notification from the master loop. Let's create a case structure. Let's make it error. If no error occurs, then this string will be passed on this notification will be passed through to this slave 1. And further, if an error occurs, we will be closing this loop. Let's add a wait of, let's say, 1000 milliseconds. 1 second in this loop. Let's create another loop, or let's create a copy of this loop. So control drag, to create a copy. Let's pass the same reference. Let's not add a weight over here, and let's delete this. We already have created one. Let's place it here. So let's finalize our code. Let's add another event, add event case for this stop button, in which case if the user presses the stop button, then we will be closing this loop. Let's clean up the wire. Let's pass the references through. Let's create the error case, in which case we just will be passing an empty string. The same we will be doing here. So copy, control drag, copy, error case. So let's go and test this VI, but before let me explain that if the stop button is pressed, then the upper loop quits and this notification is released, in which case the error is generated in the lower two loops and they stop as well. So stopping the lower loops is not a problem since we are not directly stopping them as well. If you notice that there is an input here which says ignore previous. If we turn this on, then the notifications that were received while this loop was busy, since we have placed a 1000 millisecond wait in it, will ignore those. Let's place some code. Let's place a control to enable this setting and see how this behaves. Let's create a control, and now we will be able to set this state from the front panel. So let's test it. Ignore is previous state is now at the moment is false. So let's press this button. This loop has received and there is no wait, and this has now received it after 1 second. Send another notification. Both have received. Now send several notifications. You see this has received and it is receiving, this loop is also receiving it since it is false. If we say ignore previous and send several notifications, this loop has reached 13 and this has ignored all the notifications which were sent while it was busy. So you can use this to ensure whether the notifications are received or not. Thanks for watching.